Scott Morrison has become the first Australian Prime Minister to travel to the Solomon Islands in more than a decade.
The PM set to announce a $250 million infrastructure program for the Solomons.
A sight rarely seen in the Solomon Islands, an Australian Prime Minister. Scott Morrison greeted with fanfare as he touched down in Honiara for his first overseas trip since being re-elected. In his element, the PM beginning his trip with some barbecue diplomacy.
This is to reaffirm our commitment to the Pacific Step Up program, to our Pacific family. Having been before the election to Fiji and to Vanuatu, I was very keen to pick up that program again on the other side of the election.
Mr Morrison promised his government would do more in the region, and he's set to deliver, announcing a bilateral infrastructure program which will see $250 million in grant financing over a decade. It's a clear pushback against China's growing influence in a country that has diplomatic ties with Taiwan, which Beijing wants to put an end to. Former Solomon Islands Prime Minister Rick Ho says the country should stick with Taiwan.
And we are aware of where China has invested in some of these countries. The investment actually is not an investment which is free. You end up with these countries with a whole load of debt.
Scott Morrison will spend less than 24 hours on the ground here in Honiara, but given the last Australian Prime Minister to travel here did so all the way back in 2008, the significance of this visit isn't lost on this nation.
For Prime Minister Scott Morrison to make Solomon Islands his first visit is quite remarkable. We are very happy about that.
But Scott Morrison might not be happy about some of the tough questions he's likely to face about climate change.
If Australia and the US are going to expect better engagement and more engagement with the region, then this is an issue that is up front in our agenda.
An issue of deep concern in the Pacific that the Prime Minister can't ignore if his Pacific pivot is to truly succeed. Jackson Williams, Sky News, Honiara.